This PowerPoint discusses phenomenology. It's by Heather Schell, Alexandra Sorrentino, and Angela Welker. Phenomenology is thought of both as a philosophy and a method of research. It is philosophical because its individual is always interacting with the environment. It is commonly used in nursing research. The aim is to gain understanding of human experiences and phenomena from the view of the participants in the study. It is considered subjective because the researcher's understanding of the experience impacts the collected data. Phenomenological research is qualitative research. The philosophical origin of qualitative research is interpretive and humanistic, as is phenomenological research. The basis of knowing is through discovery and understanding in qualitative research. Likewise, in phenomenological research, the research is attempting to discover and understand an experience. Qualitative research is subjective, and the researcher gets involved in the study. In phenomenology, the researcher's experience and interpretation influence the data, making the subjective research. The outcome of phenomenological research can be satisfying to the researcher because they are involved in the researcher, making it qualitative. The generalized steps to conducting phenomenology research are determining a phenomenon that has been observed, reflecting on the essential themes that describe the nature of the lived experience, writing a description of the phenomenon, and using the description to interpret the meanings of the experience. While the basic structure remains similar, there are several views to conducting phenomenological research that have been developed over the years. Edmund Husserl was a mathematician whose position was that phenomena make up the world of experience but cannot be explained through causal relations. Rather, they must be examined subjectively and require the researcher to set aside their own view of the phenomenon through bracketing. Another example comes from Martin Heidegger, who was a student of Husserl. He expanded the goal of phenomenology to include the interpretation of the lived experiences. This is relevant because the people are shaped by the individual experiences. The study titled The Lived Experience of Nurses Caring for Dying Pediatric Patients by Diana L. Curcio utilized yet another model of phenomenological research by Van Manen. There are 6 steps to this model. Step 1, identify a phenomenon of interest. Step 2, conduct an investigation of the phenomenon as a lived experience. Step 3, reflect on illuminated essential themes that characterize the phenomenon. Step 4, describe the phenomenon through the use of coding. Step 5, maintain a strong relation to the phenomenon to provide rigor to the research process. And Step 6, balance the context by stepping back to evaluate the wholeness. The purpose of the Curcio study was to explore, describe, and understand the lived experiences of nurses caring for dying pediatric patients and to gather information that may help future nurses when caring for the dying child. The results of the interviews revealed themes including empathy, feelings of ambivalence, inevitability, inspiration, relationship, self-preservation, and sorrow. This phenomenological study concluded that through the lived experiences of nurses caring for dying pediatric patients, an overall descriptive meaning of adaptation becomes apparent when stimuli affects behavior. The author points out, personal and emotional stories of lived experiences provide the ability to create strategies to improve quality of life for the patient and for nurses, as well as adding to the identity of the practice of nursing. A challenge with phenomenological research is its subjectivity. This research type looks at lived experiences. To analyze subjective material is a challenge. Bracketing is a term used to be able to set aside one's own perspectives when looking at research. The idea of embodiment is the unity of the body and mind that eliminates the idea of subjectivity and objectivity. This thought argues that bracketing is impossible and that what you remember and know will always influence your interpretations. Situated freedom states that your current situation affects your experiences, which will limit the context in which you can view other people's experiences. It is up to researchers to do the best they can when analyzing data in this research type to avoid as much subjectivity as possible. There are some limitations to phenomenological research. Generalizability is one of them. Participants are often selected in order to meet the needs of a particular study. Care needs to be taken with this method when choosing participants, selection methods, context, data generation, and analysis methods in order for the findings to be generalizable. Another limitation is bias. Research bias may lead to subjective interpretation of the findings. And a third limitation is presentation. Highly qualitative research often makes it hard to present findings in a way practitioners would consider to be useful. Care needs to be taken when undergoing a phenomenological research to present a true idea of the topic being studied. This concludes the PowerPoint on phenomenology. Listed here are references used for the study. Thank you for your time.